Hello, and today we are working on Mahogany Homes, and I've been doing it for a few hours, and it's been pretty good, or coming up on 2 hours, I guess, looking at my XP tracker. But it's been good, and I thought I'd share how I'm doing it so that anyone wanting to give Mahogany Homes a try could benefit from some tips. So the method that I'm using is using NPC Contact to get the contract really quickly every time. I used to do this without NPC Contact because I was worried about teletabs. As an Iron Man, they're a bit annoying to make. However, I've discovered a couple things that can reduce how many teletabs you actually have to use. So I gave it a try, and we're getting about 250k an hour at the moment, which is beautiful. So I'm contacting Amy, just now, and I'm getting an expert contract, obviously using the mahogany logs, and this one's in Fally. So for my Falador teleports, I use a Ring of Wealth, and I've got about 50 of these banked as an Iron Man. I can't remember what I did with the rest of my Dragon Stones, but I don't have tons of Dragon Stones. I actually made them all into glories at one point, which was probably pointless. So that's really useful for the Falador teleport as an Iron Man. I'm wielding the equipable saw from Amy, which is purchased through the game. And I'm also using the plank sack that is from the game as well. If you're starting out with this, you won't have the plank sack, but that should be your first reward that you buy before anything else, because it holds 28 planks for you, which is huge. It will reduce the amount of times you need to bank. I need to check whether I need to bank right now. I've only got 4, so I'm going to quickly go teleport to the crafting guild. And if you're not 99 crafting, you can obviously substitute that with anything else. If you have your Xerix amulet, which should be worn because you've got contracts in Hesidius, you can easily teleport to Xerix Honor, which is Raid's bank, and quickly bank there. But you should try to bank as much as possible in the locations where your contracts are. So if you've got contracts in Fally, you should bank there, which I should have done on the previous contract. I kind of wasn't thinking because I'm doing a commentary. And if you've got a contract in Hesidius, you should bank there as well. So what you just saw me do was remove 2 pieces of furniture at the same time. It's basically the same tick. I don't know if it's 1 tick behind, but it's hugely faster if you manage to position yourself between 2 pieces of furniture that you need to remove them both and then build them both, rather than removing one and building and removing the next one and building, because there's a slight delay after you build something. However, there's not a delay after you remove something. So you can kind of get a feel for all of the spots where you can do kind of the double remove, and it's really nice. So obviously, as you see, we got a contract in Hesidius. I teleported to the Glade on the Xerix amulet and made use of that bank there, which is what you should try and do. Apart from if you get Barbara, which is the one south of Hesidius, you want to teleport to your house portal for her, so you're not going to be running near the bank. So just something to note. A tip that I would recommend is try to finish the contracts in terms of the things you're building. Try to finish it near the NPC. So you can see that I've left the table on the ground floor non-completed, because I can save a bit of time by just doing this last rather than running to it and then to the ladder. It just saves a tiny bit of time that probably will add up over time. And you can see I'm not taking the cup of tea every single time. I'm only taking it when I really need to, and that does save a significant amount of time each contract. There's no point taking extra cups of tea if you don't need them, because there's an extra delay and you could just be casting your NPC contact instantly rather than getting a cup of tea that's not needed. A couple of things I would recommend for Runelite settings is you can go into menu entry swapper plugin, and you can set the kind of deposit all option to eat / wield / use, etc. and that means that when you're in the bank, you can shift click your plank sack when you get one. As long as you've got planks in your inventory, it will fill them up without you having to close the bank, which is a really nice boost. So you don't have to fiddle around too much with closing and opening the bank. And I would recommend having your withdraw option in the actual bank in the game itself as the 5 option, because then when you need steel bars, you can just click on them and it will take out 5. You should withdraw steel bars when you've got 1 or less in the invent. And then that keeps 5 or 6 in the invent at all times, which is nice. You don't get through them very quickly, so you only have to do that every now and then. You probably just saw me use the achievement diary cape to teleport here for Ross. It's quicker to use that because I can teleport to that pub where the diary reward person is. Obviously not everyone's going to have the achievement diary cape, but it's really nice for me as an Iron Man. If you don't have it, you can just use an RD teleport tab. It won't be too much more running, but it is slightly slower. I also use the cape for Varrock, and that means I don't need to make any Varrock tabs either. So as soon as I get the contract XP drop, I can shift click on NPC Contact. That's another Runelite setting you need to make sure is enabled. Do we need to bank? No. Shift click on NPC Contact will just automatically do the last person you spoke to, which is Amy. And that's a nice little speed and quality of life update as well. This house is quite annoying to do because it's got two separate upstairs floors. I try and do it in this direction. So I start on this side and I come south from the stairs rather than running up and across to this corner to do that table, because then you have to come back. These are all tiny little efficiency tips that probably seem like nothing. But if you are wanting to just do this as smoothly as possible, getting the best XP you can, it's definitely worth making the little extra effort to try and learn each location as efficient as you can. So for this part, I just hold down space. I've got all of my buttons set up on my mouse, which is really, really nice. I've got a mouse that's got lots of programmable buttons. Not everyone's going to have that. You can obviously just have your other hand on the keyboard with space and 4 other main keys that you need to use. Oh, didn't mean that. You can, when you're building furniture, you can literally just hold down the 4 key if you want, so that when you click build on something, it's automatically going to press 4 when that interface opens. But because I've got a button for 4 on my mouse, I can just quickly press it. With a bit of practice, you get used to the timing of it. So there, I probably should have left that bed and table until I come downstairs, but I'm kind of talking and not thinking 100% clearly, but it's not a huge issue. It's not going to make the biggest difference, but it's nice just to, it's quite fun to try and think of the best strat. So yeah, we've gained a 500k XP in this session at 257k an hour, which is really nice. Trying to think if there's any more tips. That I would try to reduce the items you have in your inventory as much as possible. So the saw only saves 1 inventory spot, so it's not a major requirement. I wouldn't say that it's compulsory to buy. However, I wanted it because I thought it looked cool and thought saving 1 space, why not? I'm going to start saving my points for the blueprints, I think. The other option is to buy the construction outfit, which gives a slight XP boost to things when you're constructing. However, I feel like I'm not going to be training construction for long enough to get much benefit out of that. If I was going to like 200 mil, for example, it would obviously have a bigger impact because it's a lot more XP that it's going to have an effect on. But I'm so close to 99, I don't think I'll buy the outfit. The other rewards that you can buy if you're not keen on saving 2,000 for the blueprints, if you're not interested in those, you can buy crates that give you construction supplies back. So if you're looking to save as much money as possible, you can buy the little supply crates that will, I've never actually bought one, but I know that they do give you back some planks and stuff. So if you're interested in saving even more money, definitely give that chuck your points in that if you wish to. If you're not interested in any other rewards, but absolutely 100% get the plank sack first before buying anything else, because it just means you're not having to bank every single contract, and that has quite a significant increase on XP per hour. So there you can see I did the double remove. And I messed up there, but just does it so quickly when you remove two at the same time. So I need to bank now, so I'm hoping for one in Hesidius or Fally. Let's see what we get. If not, then it's a teleport to Crafting Guild, but we did actually get someone in Fally. And the locations that you can get are not very varied. There's not actually that many different houses. You can only get them in Fally, Varrock, or Ardi, or Hesidius. So 4 different cities or towns. Actually need bars, because I only had 1 left. And so after a little while, you just kind of realize, you start to get to know the easiest way to get to each location as quick as possible. I don't think I've had any in Varrock during this video, but it's quite simple. My method will be similar to yours. I just click on my achievement cape and I press D, and the D option takes me to the Varrock diary person, which is next to the fountain basically. So that'd be the exact same place as, what's going on? It'd be the same place as if you just had a Varrock teleport tab. So this just saves me some spaces and also saves me the need of making as many teletabs in the long run. So yeah, that's my tips for Mahogany Homes. Obviously, it's cheaper for you to do teak planks, but you'll get less XP per contract and therefore less XP per hour. But the method will be much the same, just bring in teak planks instead of mahoganies. I don't have numbers on teak XP per hour, but I will, if I find some, I'll plop them in the description. As you can see here, we're getting about 250k an hour with mahoganies, which is really, really nice. If you're doing this without NPC Contact, I think the best that you can get is about 200k an hour. So if you want to just use lore runes and a dust staff to save teletabs, if you're an Iron Man, you can sacrifice about 50k in XP per hour, which I personally don't think is worth. But you may find that if you're lacking in teletabs or teleport items like Ring of Welves, then you may need to. So here's an example of how to get to Barbara really quick. I've got house tabs here, and my house is in Hesidius, and it's right next to Barbara's house, which is a bit quicker than running from the Glade teleport. So I wasn't using my teletabs at first, but I realized if I'm going to get 99 construction, I then will not have a use for my house tabs. So I might as well use them during the construction grind. So we'll see how many I end up using, but I think once I get 99, obviously the cape teleports you to your player own house, and that will mean I never need house tabs again, which would be lovely. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found something informative, and catch you in the next one.